Hi all. Today I am taking Amalfi out and I am using my usual agile build here using Mimbelli, and my inspirations are Müller and Le Monnier. And as I always say, Le Monnier, he gives me only 15 seconds from when I fire my guns till I go dark again, instead of the usual 20 seconds. So that's a massive improvement. 25% is great. So I really recommend that guy on this ship. So let's get into the action here. Now, this is a legendary match, and usually T7 cruisers have a bit of a hard time in those battles. And that doesn't go for Amalfi, though, because this ship has one thing that no other T7 cruiser has, and that is the rolling smoke. And you can see here, I start on a team, we don't have a destroyer. So I will have to take on that role, at least for the beginning here, so we can see where the enemies are and what their movements are going to be from the start of the game here. As you can see, I'm just heading in, and this is a legendary game, mind you. It's pretty dangerous just to head in like this in a cruiser. I take a shot, and then I'm hoping a lot of people will shoot at me, so they will give up their position. So now I have like 6 or 4 or whatever it is, 5 people targeting me, and it's getting a little bit hot out here. So I tank a few salvos, and then I pop my rolling smoke. And I'm just completely ignoring that Cleveland over there. It's not going to be a threat at all. So we have a few ships that's given up their position now, and as soon as I get out of my smoke here again, I'll be able to spot again and get in a few cheeky shots at the same time. Now mind you, I don't have my smoke now, so I'll have to outmaneuver these shells here using my agility as my only defense. And as you can see, we're doing pretty well. So I need to get into safety now. I've done my duty, at least for now. Since we don't have a destroyer, then like some cruiser will have to take on the role. It's not fun, no, but it has to be done. So if we avoided another legendary salvo there, we got a few fires going, and we haven't really taken much damage. And that's very typical for Amalfi. Like, it's a great beginner's tier 7 cruiser. If I have to pick a cruiser for someone who wants to play agile cruisers at the high tiers, at tier 7 and legendary tier, I would pick this. And that's because it has the rolling smoke. Now, the rolling smoke is your get out of jail free card. Like, no other cruiser has this this ability. The British has smoke as well, but it doesn't obscure you instantly like the rolling smoke does. So that means with the rolling smoke, you can take some pretty crazy chances in this cruiser. You can play it very aggressively and still get away unscathed. And first of all, that's really helpful for your team. Second of all, it's a lot of fun. I can really recommend this cruiser here. So that's one Kurfürst down there. And my smoke is slowly reloading, so I can do another spotting run soon. But until that happens, I'm just going to be a little bit careful up here. Nobody else is pushing into the middle. So again, I'll have to do it if we want to be able to spot at least a little bit of the enemies. And you can see the main force is out on the left flank, and we don't really have many ships over there. So we'll need to somehow block those guys off over there. So the enemies are pushing very aggressively here. And a nice thing about the Italian cruisers here are their long-range torps. Like, you can really get up to some funny situations with those. Because see how far that Yamato is? Like, if that guy decides to go through the hole in the 2 islands, which it looks like he's going to do, I can reach him when he comes around the corner there, although he's 14 kilometers away now. And surely by the time he gets through that hole there, he's forgotten all about me and where I was positioned like a minute ago or whatever. How long it'll take those torpedoes to get there. So now I'm just doing the island thing here because I'm still waiting for my smoke to come back. It's a bit difficult to take on legendaries without a smoke or a very agile cruiser. And Amalfi is not the most agile T7 cruiser, unfortunately. So you have to rely a bit on the smoke when you're up against legendaries. So now one of them is taking a shot here, but that's okay. We're pretty safe here. See how the Yamato there is coming out? Let's give him a nice shot here, and if we're lucky, we're gonna get a torp hit. If we are unlucky, we won't. But still, I mean, there's a degree of luck to these torps here because the ships are so far away. But they're very efficient in scaring people off. So now my smoke is back, so I'm gonna go head down here and see if I can spot some more ships than what is currently spotted. So I'm basically gonna do exactly what I did in the beginning here. I'm gonna use myself as bait. I'm gonna sail into the middle of the map to make sure as many enemies as possible can see me. And on the way, of course, I'm gonna do as much damage as I can. And then when I am visible to everybody and they're shooting at me and they're wasting their salvos, I'll simply just smoke up and just quietly disappear again. And if you saw when I did this the first time, I came out of the middle of the map unscathed and I did more than 25,000 damage. Now damage isn't everything, but it sure helps. And when you're a tier 7 cruiser in a legendary battle, you have to be careful, and slow and steady wins the race here. Like, it's not like you can citadel these guys here. Like you are relying on fires and hiding and just staying alive as long as possible. So that salvo I took before was from that Cleveland that's hiding down there. And Cleveland's always seem to do that, and yeah, it makes sense in that ship. But there is a limit to how long you should hide. That guy doesn't leave that island for the whole match. And I'm sure those battleships up here would love for him to come out and take me on. So I can't sit down here and just pepper them with HE and generally be annoying. So now here I have to show broadside to a Yamato here, and obviously I don't want to do that. So I smoke up. This is what I mean, that this rolling smoke here can get you out of the most terrible situations. If you stuff up and you make a giant mistake, the smoke will get you out. Now this wasn't a mistake. I was planning to do this because I wanted to get over to this next island. That is what the rolling smoke does, and that's what it does so well. Like this way of repositioning, where you totally change your position without the enemy knowing, it's incredibly powerful. And of course, you can use it in a multitude of ways. This rolling smoke, it's very versatile. Like in the beginning, when I first took out Amalfi, I didn't really use the smoke to its full potential, I guess. But I have since learned that this is definitely a game-winning feature. And like I said before, if you are an aggressive player and you find yourself getting sunk or citadeled all the time because you either make mistakes or you're a little bit too eager, like this is the cruiser for you. It's very tanky. It's quite maneuverable. It's not an agile cruiser. I'm not gonna give it that, but it's agile enough. Now at this point, I am wondering if I should go down and confront this really annoying Cleveland that's hiding down there. I mean, I could easily take him out, but I decide not to. And I think my shots are better fired up here against the battleships. I mean, I am able to keep them in a crossfire here, and the rest of my team, they're hiding on the other side of the island. So that's why I decide that I'll stick around here, and I'll just act as a barrier between the Cleveland and my team. Because there's no way the Cleveland can get up here if I stay out here in the middle of the map. So now the things have turned for the enemy team. They were ahead, but now they're not anymore. And now we have a nasty Yamato there, and I'm out of smokes. So I have to use my agility here. So you can see, I slow down and I turn completely, and he just wasted a legendary salvo there. And that's something you don't want to do in a legendary battleship. You don't have a lot of salvos. You have to make them count. And that there was just a waste. But that's what I want. I want him to shoot at me, and I want him to waste every salvo he shoots, so he ends up doing absolutely nothing in the battle. And in my opinion, that's your job as a T7 cruiser in a legendary battle. And that Cleveland is just incredibly annoying, but he's also not the best shot. So so now we're well ahead on points, and we have 4 versus 2. So I'm gonna focus on this Yamato here now. That Cleveland doesn't seem like he's coming out at all, and to be honest, I don't really care about him anymore. The Yamato is a much bigger threat. So we're just waiting for each other to come around this island here. He knows where I am, I know where he is, and as soon as we can see each other, we're gonna be firing at each other. And of course I'm ready for that. And I'm just checking where he is, and he sees me, and I fire, and he fires as well. But like I said, I have already accounted for that, so of course it's a miss. So that's 2 salvos this guy has wasted, and he did get a little bit of damage there. And he only gets, in a perfect game, he gets 30 salvos, and he wasted 2. That's 8% of his total salvos. So here, I am in deep trouble now with a Cleveland having a go at my broadside and a Yamato in front of me. So I just smoke up. That's it. Unfortunately, I get spotted here when I shoot because I was a little bit eager. But it doesn't matter. The Yamato cannot really get to me anyway now, and that's the main threat. That Cleveland is just annoying. Nothing else. If you've been paying attention, then I can tell you that for the last 2 minutes, nobody on this map have been shooting on anything other than me. And like I said before, that's exactly what I want. Like this Cleveland has been preoccupied, and the Yamato as well. And unfortunately here he gets a little bit of a damaging shot on me because I wasn't paying attention to my smoke. But like I said, Amalfi is quite tanky, so unless you get a Citadel, then you'll be fine. So now he's cornered this Yamato here, and I'm actually a little bit tired of him, and we are way ahead on points, and we have 4 versus 2. So I'm going to do what I can to sink this guy. And we are down to less than 2 minutes, so that means the only option I have is torps. So I'm going to use my great speed now to surprise this Yamato here from the other side. Now, he's expecting me to come out from my hiding place again and perhaps take a torp shot or a cheeky AC shot at him again, but I'm not. I'm going to go around and I'm going to attack him from the other side. And because Amalfi is so fast at 43 knots, and that's not even a full speed build, but that's enough for me. It can probably go 45 actually, but 43 is more than enough. It means that I can reposition fast and easily. And it's unlikely that this Yamato here is prepared for me. Of course, I don't know that. So it is a bit of a gamble, and I don't have any more smokes. But with less than a minute left, there's really nothing to lose. We're way ahead on points, so even if I die, we're still going to win. So there he is, less than 3 kilometers away. And like I thought, he's got his guns pointing in the wrong direction. So first we're going to set a fire. And then we're going to give him some of our slow Italian torps here. But unfortunately, time is running out. He's trying to turn his guns. And we're just going to angle so he doesn't hit us. And that was a whole salvo, like completely missed. So the first round of torps will hit him now. And unfortunately, time just runs out before the second salvo gets him. But anyway, that was a Amalfi in a legendary battle. And we didn't sink anyone, we didn't cap anything, and yet we did exceedingly well in the company that we were put in this battle here. So Amalfi, great ship. So anyway, I hope to see you out there, guys.